So this video is going to make your social media growth coaches cry a little bit. You know the ones, they're promoting the Instagram growth guide on how to get 10,000 followers in the next 30 days. But the issue with those type of people that shill those useless resources online is that they forget one key thing: how to freaking monetize those followers. Because everyone's obsessed with vanity metrics like followers, likes, social media growth. But no one's talking about friggin' money. No one's talking how to actually monetize those followers and build a business. And what you can get caught up in is a trap, especially when you're brand new and starting out, is that thinking you have to do all of these different things to start building momentum or building a business or actually making money. And it can be very freaking confusing where to start. You know, do you start on creating YouTube videos, long form content? Although short form content is pretty hot right now, so you're going to start doing on TikTok because the algorithm's pretty good. But then obviously Facebook has just released Threads, and that's a new platform. So is that the best new opportunity? So you're going to start creating text-based content. And I believe the way marketing is going, there's a place for all of these platforms. And I think if you really want to grow and you want to make, 50 to 100K to $1 million plus per month, then yes, you need to be on all these platforms. But when you're just starting out, it can be very frigging overwhelming to go and create all of this content because you don't really have a clue what you're doing, why you're creating the content, who you're creating the content for. And you're just basically hoping and praying that some form of content that you create is going to go viral and that's going to build your business. Well, if your entire social media growth strategy is about trying to go viral, then you're a fucking loser, number one, but number two, you're not going to make any money. So what I want to do in this video is show you a content strategy that is not only going to get you followers, but it's going to make you a shitload of money. Now, am I the best example of this? No, probably not. I don't have the biggest social media following in the world, that's for sure. However, my agency does work with some of the biggest influencers in the online space. Now, some of our clients have millions of followers across, millions of followers or subscribers on YouTube alone. They also have millions of followers on Instagram. I used to work for a guy a few years ago. I was his head marketer, and I saw him go from, I think when I first started working with him, he had about 40,000 subscribers on YouTube. Now he has, I believe, about 1.7 million. And in that first 12 months of working with him, I saw him go from 50K subs to 1 million subs on YouTube. So I'm not only speaking this from my own experience on what's working for me right now and what I'm going to focus on moving forward, but it's also taken from me working alongside some of the biggest names in the industry. So this shit works. So it's all got to do with this incredible drawing that I have provided on the screen right now, and I'm gonna run you through it, right? So it's a sideways funnel. If you're in the marketing game, which I'm sure you are if you're watching this video, you'll know what a funnel is, right? You start big and wide, you funnel people to your product. And I have turned it into a sideways funnel, but it's essentially the same concept. And I actually split the funnel up into, I would say, 3 main parts. Now, these 3 phases have completely different purposes. And it's important that you have all 3 phases if, number 1, you want to grow on social media and get followers, but number 2, you want to make a lot of money. So the first phase is for discovery. So this is getting people to see your content. This is where people are going to find you for the first time. The second phase is nurture. So you create content in this phase for people who have already discovered you, who are already aware of you, who maybe already follow you on one of the platforms. And you create content specifically for them that you know they are interested in to build that relationship, build trust, build credibility, give more value. And then therefore, in the hopes you basically move them down that buyer's journey. And then the final part is the sales channel. So once you have nurtured them, then you create content specifically for sales. And once you create that content for sales, you then send them through this thing here, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But let's jump back to the funnel. So discovery. So you need to pick, and this is the same for the entire process, and this is specifically important if you're just starting out. You need to pick one channel for each phase. In the beginning, don't do any more of that, because if you're going to pick multiple channels or social media content for discovery, then you're going to burn the fuck out before you make any money, right? It's not possible to build a business from scratch and then do all of these social media channels as well, unless you've got, hundreds of thousands to pay a social media team to help you with. So you want to pick one platform for each phase. So let's talk about discovery. So you need to look, this is where you really want to think about going viral. Now, I'm not saying you should create content just to go viral. You need to create content in your niche, but this content should be maybe wider and content that maybe more of the masses will engage with and be interested in. So, and you also need to think, what are the platforms that you're most likely to get the most exposure? So, for example, I like to use short form content for discovery. Now, for me personally, I use Twitter for this. So Twitter is my short form content platform. I know you can do longer form content with threads and stuff like that, but short text-based content to get me discovered, and it's the platform that I have the most followers on, believe it or not. And I use this platform to get discovered by people. People see me for the first time on Twitter, right? So that's that. But you don't have to do Twitter. I'm a copywriter by trade. I prefer writing than creating video content, especially the type of video content that tends to go viral. Not really my jam. Don't really like dancing around with my top off. So I use Twitter. It's text-based, but you can use TikTok. You can use Instagram Reels. You can use Instagram. You can use YouTube Shorts. Those are the type of platforms that I would probably recommend going for. Stuff, again, that can go viral, but also is that short form, so it's easier to create. Because with this phase, you're probably going to have to do more volume. If you want to get discovered and you're brand new, you're going to have to pump out the volume. So instead of creating, long form YouTube content that is 20 minutes long, that's a lot of effort if you're going to put in a lot of volume. So I would recommend, especially if you're starting out, unless you really love video and you really love long form video and that's what you want to do, then all right, do it, but it's going to be harder. It's the same with podcasts, right? I wouldn't create a podcast to get discovered. It's a lot more difficult to get discovered on a podcast than it is on a Instagram reel or a tweet, right? So I would go for shorter form, easier to get discovered content, more likely to go viral. And also it's just going to allow you to put in more volume to get discovered quicker. So it's just easier. You're going to burn out less. So I would pick one of those platforms, whichever you prefer. Like I said, I do Twitter. You can do some of the short form content. And the whole goal is to get people into your world, to get people to discover you for the first time. Then the next phase that we're moving on to is nurture. So you're creating content in the nurture phase, not for new people, not to get discovered, but you're creating the content for the people who have already discovered you. So this is where you can go more in depth for your audience and create longer form content, because this is going to nurture them. Someone is much more likely to watch your 20-minute YouTube video if they've already consumed a few of your YouTube shorts. Someone's more likely to listen to your 45-minute podcast if they already follow you on Instagram or Twitter, right? Trying to get people to consume that length of content as they see you for the first time, very, very difficult. So that's why I keep the longer form content for the nurture, right? It just makes sense. And it means you don't have to try and produce, 100 YouTube videos, long form YouTube videos to get discovered and wait for one to go viral. Just create 100 YouTube shorts and hope one of those goes viral instead. So again, for me, it's this YouTube content, right? I use YouTube as my nurture platform. Just one. Again, we're just picking one here. And I just pick YouTube as my nurture. Now, some of you will find me for the first time on YouTube. Maybe some of you watching this video and this is the first time you've ever seen a video of me and you'll see me for the first time. And that will happen, right? But I've tried and tested and dabbled in creating viral content for YouTube. Personally, it's not my jam. It's not my thing. Plus, there's a lot of effort to create a 10 to 20 minute video to try and go viral when it doesn't go viral. So you'll see now that my content specifically on the channel has shifted to more just in-depth tutorial based, a lot more value, as opposed to higher level, hey, this is how to be successful, blah, 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 stuff that doesn't really, it doesn't really excite me to talk about for 20 plus minutes. but like in-depth marketing psychology and concepts, that excites me to talk about. So I'm creating YouTube content for that. And that is nurture. These videos that I'm making right now, this video that I'm making right now, not gonna go viral. For my channel, probably not gonna get over, 500 views. And that's okay, because it's not created to go viral and get new people into my world. It's for people who already follow me on YouTube, Twitter, people who are already on my email list. It's for them to consume so I can build a relationship with them. So I would pick a longer form platform to create as your nurture channel. So just one discovery platform, one nurture platform. And again, YouTube is good for that. Podcast is good for that. A blog is good for that. Maybe some more longer form content. So that's that. Then next up is the sales channel. So I would pick one sales channel to begin with. Now, for most people, I would recommend doing this via email. This is going to be the easiest way. So on your discovery channel, on your nurture channel, you're also going to have links to your sales channel, which again, I would recommend being email, and you get people to your email list. Now, on my email list, I do a few things. Number one, I sell, right? I sell different products, and this is what you should do as well. You shouldn't really, again, if you're just starting out as a beginner and you have like 10 followers, I wouldn't start selling on your short form TikTok videos, right? Because people aren't going to buy from you. If you've got millions of followers already, slightly different. I'm talking to people just starting out. You could sell on your long form YouTube videos and your nurture channel. You could do that, but I prefer to get them to take one more step, which is to join the email list. But you can kind of mix it up, but I would, again, try and get them to basically ascend through the whole funnel. And I would get them on my email list. Now, I still use my email list to promote my YouTube content. So when I post a new video, or at least one video a week, I will send an email to my list promoting that. So I'm kind of like getting people to go back through the funnel to build that relationship more. I still email valuable content that is nurture-based content on my email list, right? So I'm still doing a few things on this email list, but I'm also getting them on there to sell. And then once you sell on your email list, you send them through to this part of the process. And this part is basically whatever sales page or sales funnel that you want. So it depends what you sell, obviously. If you're selling like low ticket products, then you can just sell them to a sales page. If you're selling like a service or a high ticket product, then you'll probably get them to a phone call. But either way, you just have one channel that you send them to, one sales process that you send them to, and then obviously the goal there is to make money. Now, again, I made a video about this actually recently where, long term, you're going to want to do multiple things. You want to be on multiple platforms, multiple assets that are going to nurture your leads, and even multiple sales assets. But in the beginning, when you're just starting out, don't try and do that, because you're just going to burn out before you make any money. It's going to be demoralizing. You're trying to put out all of this content, and you feel like you're not getting anywhere. I guarantee stick to this strategy. One discovery channel, one nurture channel, one sales process. So you shouldn't really be selling multiple things if you're just starting out. Just try and keep it as streamlined as possible. And then once it's working, making you money, maybe then you add another discovery channel, right? You start, instead of just posting short form content on Instagram, you start on TikTok, or maybe you have nailed short form video content on Instagram, and then you want to go to Threads and you want to start doing text-based content on there. Again, you will decide for your own skill set and your own business, but then I would just add more channels throughout the funnel. So I'd start with another discovery, then you can start with another nurture, and then you can do another like sales process or whatever it is, right? But in the beginning, I think it's super important to not get overexcited and be like, I'm going to be the next Gary Vee and start posting on all these fucking channels, because you're just not going to be able to do it. So stick to this process, streamline it, be strategic. I see a lot of people like posting content and they don't really know why or who it's for. Again, discovery content is for people to discover you for the first time, so it's going to be higher level. On my short form content, I do a little bit on Twitter because I have a following on there now that I try and nurture. But in the beginning, you want to teach like more higher level stuff that is like easily discovery. Like it's going to allow you to be discovered easier. And then in the nurture phase, that's where you go like more in depth and give like more value based stuff, because people are going to spend more time with you. So I hope that was helpful. If you enjoyed the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.